Hey, howdy, hey, Dodger fans. Oh, whoa. What's going on? Let's take a look. Hi. Hi, everybody. And a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. People, it's time for some late night Dodger talk. That's right. Late night Dodger talk. The best kind of Dodger talk. The kind of talk where we can talk frankly about questions of great importance, such as, can Dave Roberts become the first manager to be fired in the middle of a playoff series? I don't know. Maybe there has been a manager fired in the middle of a playoff series before. I don't know if there has been, but there should be, because the crime against management that Mr. Roberts committed tonight in Philadelphia in a desperate attempt to get rid of the Dodgers Game 2 victory made me think maybe he's got money on the outcome. Maybe he does have money on the outcome. I don't know. But I do know this. Yikes! That was all kinds of scary. From Andy Pages doing his best Aaron Judge fielding imitation out there in right field. Andy Pages does not have an iron glove. Why is he kicking the ball around the right field corner? To Dave Roberts' belief in Blake Treinen. Now listen, I'm not here to crap all over Blake Treinen. I love the guy. He's been a very good major league pitcher. But at what point are we going to stop trying this, Dave? What is the point where we're like, hey, you know what, actually, Blake's having a hard time getting out major league hitters, so we should probably not put him into the baseball game of baseball. Because tonight what we're playing is baseball, and he is going to be throwing the baseball for us. And when he does, that tends to lead to non-positive outcomes for the Dodgers. Now, they're a very analytical team. I hope someone is pulling up the spreadsheet that shows the non-optimal outcomes that have been happening when the Dodgers insert Mr. Treinen into the baseball game. Yes. Good, clean fun for Dodger fans tonight. Well, anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in for Late Night Dodger Talk. If you're watching tomorrow morning, I'm sorry you couldn't join us. Obviously, some family scheduling stuff for me tonight, as I was able to finally get everyone home and everyone to bed. Kept an eye on the game the whole day. Watched the first couple of innings in the comfort of a Buffalo Wild Wings. The Wings, I'm telling you people, they are wild. And then, listen to the game on the radio for a bit. And then finally, during the seventh, eighth, and ninth innings, was able to kind of watch on my phone and keep a very closer eye on things. And listen, grown men should not be yelling curses in public, if not for, like they have some kind of, disorder or something. And when, no offense meant to the people who are dealing with those kinds of challenges. But I can see why my daughter was a little embarrassed. Let's put it that way. I can see why the 12-year-old was like, "Ooh, daddy, this is too much. You're getting a little too into it." It's playoff baseball. What can I say? You get into the playoff baseball. You have to enjoy the playoff baseball. And some days the playoff baseball will just make you insane. And today was one of those days. So they kept showing shots of Blake Treinen warming up in the bullpen for the Dodgers, to which I would say to my young daughters who were accompanying me through the afternoon of errands and practices and meals and, typical high school, junior high stuff. Middle school. Look, when you show Blake Treinen, it was kind of like a Chekhov's gun kind of thing. Like you knew that once they showed Blake Treinen warming up, that gun was going to go off later in the game. And it's not great when you have that overwhelming feeling of dread. And then you see the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead after an amazing pitching duel between Blake Snell and a man affectionately referred to as the Jesus Lizard, Jesus Lizardo. I'm sure that's not the right way to say that, and I apologize. But Jesus Lizardo, unbelievable pitching today. Unbelievable. A pitcher's duel in the best tradition of postseason baseball. Right? It's good stuff. If you like baseball, you like today's game. I mean, it was two really good teams going at it for as long as they could. And then towards the end, one of the teams started to break away a little bit. You got the big, swinging bunt, Kike Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez, all the Hernandi involved. Regardless, people scored for the Dodgers, and it was 1-0, and that was very exciting. And you thought, oh, maybe that's going to be it. But then Will Smith comes up, and Big Willie Stiley delivers, as only Will Smith can. Now, look, I know the position of relief catcher is kind of being invented on the fly during this playoffs. And it's good to see Will swinging the bat. Good to see Will getting out there. If he can only catch a couple of times, couple of innings, and we get these key late hits from him like this, I'm down. Please make him a full-time relief catcher. This is awesome. So, and maybe a little less wear and tear on the body. So that was really great. And then to see Ohtani get a hit finally after, I don't know what, he'd struck out 14 times in the series so far. 14, 15. I'm not sure. I lost count because, boy, he was striking out a lot. But he made solid contact and drove in an insurance run, what turned out to be the winning run. Thank you, Shohei, for everything you do for the Dodgers and have continued to do and will continue to do. And so then you had a 4-0 lead. And now you're thinking, okay, well, no, Philly's not going to roll over. I mean, this is an organization with some pride, but more than just pride, some skill. These are very good baseball players, this Philadelphia Nine. And so you got to be on your guard. And it might behoove Dave Roberts to manage with a little more urgency. These are short series. Quick swings of momentum can end a season, right? Dodgers lose this game after being up 4-0. I don't think they win the series. I just don't. So you gotta lock this down. You can't, treat this as an opportunity to see if maybe Blake Treinen's doing better now. Well, we have a 3-run lead. We can put him in. What's the worst that could happen? Well, he could give up 3 straight hits, and I don't know. That was pretty bad, right? So all of a sudden it's 4-3, and you're thinking, oh, dear God, the Dodgers are going to lose this game. It is preordained that the baseball gods do not like Dave Roberts' decision to bring in Blake Treinen, who, I mean, guys, there's got to be something wrong with his elbow because he cannot get out major league hitters in critical situations. So maybe we send him off for an arthroscopic examination and get him replaced on the roster. These air quotes are doing a lot of work, but I think you know what I'm talking about. It would not be unprecedented for a major league team to dismiss an ineffective player in a injury, situation and just say, oh, obviously, he's feeling a twinge and we want to be careful with him. So we've decided to call up any other human being alive in the United States of America, and many who are not, to take his place on the roster. Notice that living is not a precondition for doing as good or better a job than Mr. Treinen is doing. And in fact, most dead bodies being unable to get a pitch to the plate would probably be preferable to whatever Treinen is offering to the opposing team. This is not a slag on Blake Treinen stream. The man has had success. The man is going through a thing. I'm sorry that he's going through the thing. Does he have to go through it in the playoffs with us right now? Could he work on it like maybe in the Arizona Fall League or perhaps next year's spring training? If it's not working, it's not working. And there's nothing. I love Dave, and I love the way he's sticking up for his players and giving them a chance. But the chances are over. This man cannot appear in another game for the Dodgers this postseason if you are committed to winning the World Series. I'm sorry. Look, baseball is a very tough game. And I don't mean this with unkindness or with any amount of like, oh, I know better than anyone. The man is having a very difficult time retiring batters at the major league level right now. And he is interfering with what should be the primary goal of the team to win the World Series. It is time to try something different. He needs to get whether it's mental, physical, whatever it is, invite him to please put on a jacket and watch the rest of the playoffs from a dugout seat and support his teammates as best he can. But the man cannot get people out right now in critical situations, and that is not a good quality to have in a reliever that Dave continues to insist on going to in high leverage situations. It's just not. So, as much as I love the man, and I'm appreciative of everything he's done for the franchise, so anyhow, then let's talk about the Mookie Betts Max Muncy play. This is the old wheel play, I believe, where the third baseman charges hard, grabs the ball, throws back to the shortstop covering third to get the lead runner on a bunt situation. Unbelievable. Do or die. You have to make it or it's a complete disaster, right? Because if you don't get the runner at third, then they've advanced the runner and there's still plenty of people, plenty of outs yet to come. Thank you to the people on Facebook who've joined us. We appreciate it. Please feel free to leave a comment about tonight's Dodger disaster victory. the disaster victory. And I'd love to get some of your comments on the air tonight. So please feel free to leave those comments and we'll take a look at them and see. Nothing so far, but come on now. Type out those comments. I know you got feelings out there, people. Should Dave Roberts be fired mid-playoffs? That's my kind of hypothesis for tonight. So anyhow, they put it on the wheel play, and boy, they executed. And thank you, Max Muncy, and thank you, Mookie Betts, because that was something. That was a thing of baseball beauty to watch. And when that worked for your Dodgers, whoo, my, oh my. You started to feel a little bit better, but still, there's a non-zero chance of disaster at that point. The most immediate danger is taken care of, but it's still dicey as all hell. And then we get to the last ground ball of the game, and the baseball gods turning Tommy Edman into Steve Sachs for just one moment. A nice little Sachs flashback. For those of you who are too young to remember, Steve Sachs, a Dodger second baseman in the 80s, who developed the mysterious unable to throw to first disease. It was very mysterious. He didn't understand it. Steve Garvey didn't understand it. Nobody understood it at first base. Like, how was that happening? How did, he could not get the ball to go. Steve Garvey might have been out by that time, but it might have been Greg Brock at first base by then. But he couldn't get the ball to first. And Tommy Edmonds, I don't know, there's all kinds of great little baseball terms for this. He alligator armed it. Sure, why not? Or he, I don't know, he threw a sinker to first. Some great movement on that throw to first by Edman. And Freddie Freeman, God bless him, he's out there before the game digging 100 balls off the turf, off the dirt, working on his trap, his grab, his short hops. And wouldn't you know it, it's up to Fredward to save the day once again. And the Dodgers hold on for a 4-3 victory. Now, did they deserve to win this game? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you cannot convince me otherwise. Did they win the game? Apparently so. So they now have a 2-0 lead in the National League Division Series over a very, very good Philadelphia Phillies team who played very well in their last visit to Dodger Stadium. And so this is nowhere near over. Nowhere near over. Don't you think for one moment that there's not a chance that this series goes back to Philly. These are two very evenly matched teams playing a very, very high level of baseball, except for at times when the Dodgers seem intent on using a pitcher unable to get out at the big league level. So there you have that. Game 3 is coming up Wednesday. 6:00 start time out here in Los Angeles. We'll see how it goes. We've got Yamamoto throwing for us. I believe the Phillies are countering with their one-time ace, Aaron Nola. And we shall see. But could the Dodgers be headed back to the National League Championship Series as early as Wednesday? Yes. Could they end up meeting the Milwaukee Brewers there? Also, yes. Because Milwaukee is doing to the Cubs what the Blue Jays have been doing to the Yankees. Just thrashing them around. And it's not as much fun to see the Cubs get beat up as it is to see the Yankees get beat up, isn't it? It's a little different. A different feel to it. But yeah. So look, if I'm the front office, and this is a very analytically driven team, and there's been a lot of reporting over the years of how the front office dictates player usage and player situational usage to the manager and make sure that they want certain players to be activated at certain times. And, we need to see these people out there because the statistics, the numbers show us that they will have a greater chance of success. If these people are not on a spreadsheet, that says, we don't care what the numbers are, please do not use Blake Treinen under any circumstances. I don't know what you can do. If this is the battle between statistics and your own eyes, I think your own eyes have to win here. And I realize, look, the Dodgers have had a lot of success over the last decade plus. A lot of success. But whoever's telling Dave to put Blake out there, or if Dave thinks Blake should be out there, that's got to stop. And I'm so sorry, but in a short series, in critical situations, we've got to make better bullpen decisions. We've got to. And the thing is, it's almost a parody. Everyone knows. Every Dodger fan watching that game when they saw Blake Treinen warming up was like, oh, dear God, no. Every Philly fan who saw that was like, hey, we got a chance. And they did. They were not wrong. They did have a chance. And so at a certain point, you just have to say, okay, that's enough of that. We can't put anyone through that. Unless, we have a Blue Jay style 13-1 lead or something, then we're the Blake Treinen, experiment is shut down for the year. It's not even an experiment. I mean, he's an established veteran. He's had great success in the past, but it cannot continue. It cannot continue, Dave. And, it was just painful to watch tonight. So, that is the Dodger story. And the Blue Jay story is a little better, I think. The Blue Jays also up 2-0 versus the beloved New York Yankees. And they've got game 3, I should say, in their series coming up tomorrow night in the Bronx, where they will send one-time Cy Young Award winner Shane Bieber to the Hill to try to close out the mighty Yankees. Winners of the wild card, now in the American League Division Series. Their season could come to an end in New York tomorrow night. Now, I've been to that stadium, I can say now. I went with my daughter over the summer for our first ever visit to Yankee Stadium. I very much enjoyed it. We went as early as possible and still did not quite have time to see all the fun things that were out there. We barely made it one lap around the stadium before the game started, and that was Yankees-Cubs game. It was the last game before the All-Star break. Was the weekend that my daughter and I were in New York City, and so we set out to the Bronx, and it's just fun. Once you've been to a big league stadium, then you see like the crowd shots of the crowd coming in on the broadcast, and you're like, I've been there. I know what that is. I know what that is. And so to have that with Yankee Stadium, things moving here, where there's so many televised games from. It was good to get a feel for like the ballpark, the size of it, what it looks like. You see it on TV and you think, oh, wow. But you get there and you're like, yes. It felt different in person than it does on TV. And it's a pretty great place to see a ball game, it seems like. There's also a really good meat place down the left field line, field level, some kind of meat. I can't remember the exact name of the place, but you'll know it if you see it. It's like in left field, a butcher shop of some kind that sells its own, pastrami sandwiches or something. It's really good, really good. Definitely check it out. And then we saw the monuments and the stuff, and we got to hang out a little in one of the party zones, one of the what was it, the Pepsi Cola fun zone or something, and out there in center field. It's like a big bar. It's where behind the batter's eye, actually. So we could sit out there, and it was a warm day in New York, so it was nice to be indoors for a little bit. But my daughter and I had a great visit to Yankee Stadium, and I hope the Blue Jays will have a great visit tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes. But again, that is, boy, the Yankees. They have got to get something going. Now, I think the concern we all have, that we all share, is the kind of late rally in the blowout game 2 on Sunday may have given the Yankees a sense of hope, optimism. Yes, we do remember how to hit a baseball, which is not what you want if you're rooting for the other team. You really want them to be demoralized, depressed, unhappy, pouty, yelling at the umpires, bickering with each other. All the things that can go wrong for a team during a playoff run. But they looked like they were kind of getting their act together a little bit. And that's never good for a team that, is hoping to beat them hard. So we'll see how Bieber does. The Blue Jays have a pretty good bullpen. It's been, regardless. I think kind of the B bullpen got used a lot on Sunday. The A bullpen did a pretty good job. There's different layers or different, rankings of bullpen pitchers. So, if, you know, in a critical game, I think the A guys would get in there and do a pretty great job, I hope. But it would not surprise me for the Yankees to win one or both of these games. They're a very, very good team. I will, of course, be rooting very hard for the Toronto Blue Jays. I hope you all will too. They're a team that needs your support, and they're fun, and they're really fun. It's been fun to be a Blue Jays fan the last couple of years, but this year especially. So I am hopeful that we will be celebrating their advancement to the American League Championship Series tomorrow night. If there are no more questions, comments, or concerns, don't see a lot in the chat tonight, but that's okay. We can get you next time. I know this is a little bit of a late night stream. Again, scheduling purposes, it happens. But I just wanted to get on and make sure that we all were same page about Blake Treinen. we all understand he's not ever getting into another game this postseason, right? We do, right? Dave, you're watching this? No more. It just can't happen anymore. So we'll be looking for that game 3 in the Bronx tomorrow and a possible Blue Jay win. And then we'll be also looking for the game 3 on Wednesday. Dodgers Phillies back here at Chavez Ravine. And with all hope that Yamamoto will be able to close it out for your Dodgers. I think that's about it. Let me double check one more thing. Make sure I haven't missed any comments from the people. Anybody else? No, I don't see a lot of... Otani is still an angel, says Hope Dealer over on Instagram. Well, Otani is an angel. He is an angel. He's an angel sent from heaven to make our lives better. And will the Dodgers repeat as World Series champions? I don't know. But I like their chances a lot more now than I did at the beginning of the week or the beginning of last week. So we shall see. So that's about it for tonight. Good luck to the Blue Jays tomorrow. Good luck to the Dodgers on Wednesday. The schedule for the live streams is a little wonky, just because of, a lot of commitments this week to various activities and stuff around the house. So I'll try to get on when I can. If you try to watch, if you're watching this right now on one of the replays or a later broadcast, rebroadcast, you're watching it the next morning or something, please like, subscribe. You can go to my link tree at TV Colin Campbell and see what platform works best for you. Thanks to the fine folks at Restream, this live stream is available on a variety of streaming services. You can watch it on LinkedIn. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on Twitch. You can watch it on YouTube. And you can watch it on Instagram. Plenty of options when it comes to watching the old live stream. And I hope you will join us for the next one as we start to see maybe the participants for the various league championship series is getting locked down. But until that time, I'm Colin Campbell. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time. All right. Good night, everybody.